Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're looking at the new episode of Dragon Ball Super, episode 33. So it's dropped about a couple of hours ago. I was mid video with my catch up of my One Piece, so I've got around to finally getting chance close to 12 o'clock UK time to get this done. And pretty much the chapter or the episode itself really follows a long line. About 80 or 90% of the actual monthly manga. The last 10% sets off in a different direction, which is exciting because we're not going to get another monthly kind of episode or chapter till about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's interesting to see what direction they're going to take in the next coming episodes. But without further ado, let's get into the review. So point number one is actually the opening itself. So with the changes that they've been doing to kind of facilitate or implement the changes for this arc, there's a part that introduces the fighters in the scenes, in a scene I should say. Initially starts off with Potamo, then it moves on to Frost, which is the counterpart for Frieza, then the robot dude, then the Saiyan from Universe 6, and leaves the Cell slash kind of Frieza combination at the end. So I believe that may be a hint as to the direction they're going to go in terms of the order of the fights. So it's interesting to bear in mind that point. That's point number one. So point number two, the gong goes and the battle starts. Potamo is actually surprisingly quite light on his feet considering he's a fatso, and he starts bouncing around literally to the point where he's a human bouncy ball on a pinball. Now, whilst this was going on, I kept thinking to myself, the commentator looks like a different coloured version of a Skinny Boo. And Goku, for the most part, at the beginning, is struggling. To which you get Beerus shouting out, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Blah, 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 blah. And everyone else getting all excited. And so, like, the same thinking, why is he so weak? I thought, there'd be something similar, strength-wise. And then we find out Goku's been struggling because he's ate too much. So Potamo or Potamo, depending on the translations I've used in the past, starts firing out energy beams from his mouth. He goes, "Oh, I'll help you burn this off." And you see Goku doing laps all over the place, and finally burning off the extra energy. So that's point number two. So point number three, just as he's burning off all this extra energy, the first thing he does is does a Kamehameha. And people are like, "Oh, it's over already." No, not at all. Potamo effectively takes out with no extra damage, no nothing. And every single attack to the legs, to the body does nothing. To be honest with you, he's like unharmed. Basically, the spaceman, his name escapes me right now, basically says I think he's using some type of interdimensional kind of teleporting of the damage. He is Jacko, sorry, and Jacko's not even sure himself, but because of that he's not able to do much. So Vegeta says, "Why don't you use your head?" which prompts Goku to try headbutting the stomach, and Potamo was like, "That's not what he meant." But before he realizes, Goku got underneath him, pulled him and dragged him to the end, and he goes, "It looks like you've been lazy while you've got this technique. You've not been training properly, so it was easy to take you down." So before Potamo knows it, he's been judo thrown over and out onto the floor. So he basically loses 1-0 to Universe 7. Point number four. Champa's not happy about this. He starts complaining, kicking the force. She goes, "No, you're not allowed to do that. Fight again. Boos happen," and stuff like that. Which is quite interesting. Basically, they go, "Look, you need to carry on. It was all legal. It's fine." And then Frost goes next. Frost, for the most part, is pretty much like, Transformation 1 Frieza, except that it's color coded slightly different. The design is pretty much the same thing, same voice, same everything, except this guy is nice. He goes like, "Hello, it's just martial arts, let's be friends," and he's completely different from the Frieza that they used to. Now what's also interesting is in this actual episode they do this whole section, which is like, I guess I would say is infill and canon, I guess, but basically they do this whole thing. He likes to help war-driven children and orphans, and he goes out of his way to be a super nice guy. Basically, if he wins this tournament, Champa's gonna help him eradicate war. So that's his motivations, I guess. So that's point number four: motivations of Frost, the super nice guy. Point number five: the actual battles. The battle, it pretty much goes in the same kind of line as the the actual manga. So basically, they start fighting a little bit, and Goku's like, "Stop holding back. I know you can transform. I thought our version of you on our, in our universe." And he goes, "Okay," and he goes to his third form, which Vegeta's like, "Final form, my ass." Start fighting, and Goku's, "Look, I know you got something hidden. I've been hiding one as well." So he transforms. Now in the manga, it doesn't really make it clear if it's Super Saiyan or not, but he actually transformed to Super Saiyan. So he transformed to Super Saiyan, so, which Frost has to transform. He goes to his final form. He goes, "Look, I wasn't hiding it to my form to kind of basically hide it for later. It was more because I couldn't control it." So they go all out, and this is where basically it diverts from the manga. So they start fighting, and it gets to a point where Frost starts losing. Basically, he goes all out, can't do anything. But just as he's about to go down, he throws a final punch. Goku kind of winces. He gets dizzy, and he gets taken out. Now, there's led to speculation. Did he lose on purpose? Is there a loser's bracket where he'll get the chance to come back up? It's not really been made clear in the rules. From what I understood, there's 5 combatants. Once one loses, they're out, and it just keeps going down till there's one, and there's none. So it's interesting. We'll see what's going to happen with that. This obviously leads for the next battle, which is going to be the whole Piccolo versus Frost thing. Is this going to be his redemption? Is he a lot stronger now? We'll have to wait and see. And then next week's episode, I'm really reinvigorated. I really want to see what's going to happen, being that it's going completely away from the manga, and we won't know what's going to happen in the manga till later on. But in any case, that's all for me today, guys. Please show your support by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing, and we'll see you next time. Peace.